Okay, think back to what happened in your life or what you were incubating on, what you were starting to think about. December 20th of 2020. That is when Jupiter and Saturn came together at 0 degrees of Aquarius. Jupiter and Saturn in astrology are the timekeepers. They portend to a new epoch in an individual's life and on the collective level. That was the conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn. Most of 2024, Saturn was in Pisces and Jupiter was in Gemini, and they squared each other like several times. That was the opening square. So whatever you seeded in December of 2020 at that conjunction, the first square, the first challenge, the first crisis point was going on last year. The entire month of November, Jupiter and Saturn are in their opening trine. Now, it's not exact, but it's within 10 minutes of an exact trine. So Saturn retrograded back into Pisces, and now Jupiter is in Cancer. They will go exact on August 31st of 2026, and they'll trine each other 3 more times between 2026 and 2027. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, and it's exalted in the sign of Cancer. So something is trying to grow, something's trying to be expanded. And Saturn is the planet of contraction. Saturn asks you, do you have a plan? Do you have structure? Do you have discipline on this thing that you're creating? So at that opening square that was going on in 2024, this was the crisis moment. This was you asking yourself, do I have the resources? Do I have the money? Do I have the energy to create this thing? And if you had continued with some sort of structure and plan and discipline, and obviously with Jupiter, it's faith, right? Then this opening trine is things flowing now, the resources. You're starting to see the first glimpses of this thing coming to life. Now, at that initial conjunction, Jupiter was being ruled by that Saturn in its domicile of Aquarius. And Aquarius in ancient astrology was the heretic. And so at that moment, you were maybe thinking of something outside of the box, something that is very future forward, maybe something innovative. Last year, when we were going through that opening square, that Saturn in Pisces was being ruled by Jupiter in Gemini, which was in its detriment. And so a lot of it was kind of asking yourself, okay, maybe this has something to do with my faith. Maybe my belief systems are calcified. Maybe I have to rethink things and be more curious. And now Saturn in Pisces is being ruled by Jupiter that's exalted. And so now that Saturn has support from an exalted Jupiter. And so that opening trine is really about being embodied in the feeling of it, of knowing that it's happening. This trine is happening in water signs between Pisces and Cancer. And trines are in the nature of Jupiter. So it's really asking us to understand the nature of water, which is flowing, which is about reciprocity. And the trine happens exactly August of next year. This will happen between 2 fire signs. So Saturn will be in its fall in the sign of Aries, and Jupiter will be in Leo. Fire signs is about creative expression and passion and fire and making shit happen. This is exciting stuff. And I just want to say, if you have been going through it, like you've been going through the trials and tribulations, you've been going through doubt and fear, you've lost money, you've lost momentum, like you've made it this far, you've made it to the trine. So keep going, keep believing in yourself.